to A Jewish Mother and a Latina. Today we are with somebody who I adore that I haven't seen in so long, and you might notice that he has the same last name as somebody we hung out with on the last episode. This is Anthony Wilkinson, the Executive Director of the Avenel Arts Center. It is a beautiful place. So we're going to talk to Anthony a little bit, and then we're going to do a little tour of the theater. So Anthony, how did you come to be the Executive Director of the Avenel Arts Center?
Well, it's a very funny story, actually. I started, as you know, off-Broadway for many years, and I was doing the shows there in New York, and that was when I met the mayor of Woodbridge Township. He came to Woodbridge Township because he came to the theater, actually, to see somebody who I had cast in one of the roles that you had, this woman, Marta. And we had met in other occasions, but I had spoken to a lot of the kids in the schools here, because I do a lot of talks on anti-bullying. So I had spoken to Colonia High School, and that's where I really formally met the mayor. Anyway, long story short, in around 2000, I think it was, because it's going to be 4 years I'm here now, so it was the end of 2016. This was all still dirt. This wasn't even, they hadn't even broken ground yet. And this was, none of the apartments were here, nothing. It was just all dirt. And they said that they were building a theater and a whole arts district, and they wanted to know if I wanted to come and run it. And I said, that sounds amazing. I said, let me check it out. And at first I was hesitant because I didn't want to leave the city, and I was so comfortable being in New York. But I think the timing was right, because I felt like I could use a change, and after 20 years in theater, this felt like the next stepping stone to run a theater and to do programming, and I felt like it was a good opportunity. So I said yes, and we saw this from the ground up.
Absolutely beautiful. We
journey.
saw the pictures out in the lobby.
Yeah, and
it was ribbon cutting.
It was amazing.
I have to tell you, when she said we were coming to the Avenel Theater, I was imagining something completely like a barn, like a little rinky-dink. I was so blown away when we drove up, because it is not what I imagined at all. And didn't even know this place was here. And we're right in Staten Island.
It's true. And we've been getting a lot of people now from Staten Island. Because now, obviously with COVID we were shut down for many months. But so we will be 2 years in April. But we'll say a year and a half, because we were kind of shut down for 6 months.
Absolutely.
But every month we get more and more people that come in, whether it be for a show or an event or something, and the first thing they do is they pull in and they go, oh, I didn't know this was here.
It's incredible. It is beautiful.
And it is a little off the beaten path, because it's not off the major highway.
Are you living, I'm sorry, are you living in the town now?
I do, I live in Colonia.
When did you move to Colonia?
When I started my job here 4 years ago.
Oh wow, so you're not my neighbor anymore.
No, but I visit Staten Island often to see my family.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So while we were talking about you taking over this job, you mentioned your shows.
Yes.
So could you please talk a little bit about each one?
Well, the first one was my big gay Italian wedding, which was the original, and you see some of the pictures around the room, but and actually one of them is the original cast. But that started in 2003, and that was my baby, and we started that in the Village, and after a year and a half for that, I was working at One Life to Live at the time, so it became very challenging.
Wait, I'm sorry, you worked at One Life to Live?
I did. Yeah, I was there for 15 years.
I loved that soap opera. I grew up with one of their directors, Bruce Cooperman.
Oh my God, Bruce!
Funny! It's a small world after all. That is Bruce. So funny. I love Bruce.
I haven't seen him in years, but I love him.
Yeah, Bruce is a great guy.
Great guy.
Awesome.
So yes, I was doing the shows at the same time. And then I started doing another show called Boys Just Want to Have Fun. And that opened off Broadway in 2006. And then right when the topic of gay marriage became very, very big, because when I did the show back in 2003, it was like pretty much a taboo topic.
Right.
Like it wasn't legal anywhere, it wasn't legal in any states, it was very foreign to a lot of people. In 2009, right in the beginning of the Obama era, was when we really started to see all these platforms for gay marriage coming to fruition as a possible thing to be legal in the whole country, which no one ever dreamed was going to happen. But it was starting to become legal in different states. So that's when I got the phone call that this was a good time to bring the show back, because it would have wings now. Absolutely. And we got it. So that's when I went from the Village to the Broadway district, and that's when I knew I had to leave One Life to Live, because I was doing almost 8 shows a week, and it was crazy. So we did that for a while, and then 2 years later, I wrote my big gay Italian funeral, which was based off the death of my father, and the comedy that comes in Italian wakes and funerals and
It was out of control.
family drama. It's the one of my 4 shows. Of the 4, it's the only one that really has a serious angle to it.
Right.
It's still a comedy, but it does have that level of drama in it because obviously it is a funeral. So that was one of my favorite pieces. So now in 2013, 14, I'm doing both of those shows simultaneously. Then I had my big gay Italian Midlife Crisis, which was based off of the breakup of my ex, who I was with for over 7 years. And
His loss.
Thank you.
Wow.
No, it was all good. We're actually friends.
That's good.
Yeah, it's fine. But
So these all come from your life.
real life,
right?
yeah.
So write what you know,
I
do
write what
you
I know.
Right.
Yeah, and that was another semi-fiction, semi-autobiography about being single in your late 30s. And then the last one came out in 17, and that was my big gay Italian Christmas.
Now, how many of these characters are based on actual people that you're either related to or know?
All of the characters are based on someone that I am either related to or know. Some of the names have been changed to
To protect
course.
you.
protect the innocent. And some of the characters are like a combination of multiple people in my life. So depending on who we would be talking about, like obviously my mother's in some of the, she's in 3 of the 4. That character, I should
Right,
say, Angela, is based on my mother, but it's not exactly like my mother. It's a little bit of exaggeration. My Antonian is a real person, and it's based on my Antonian. And then some of the friends' characters are based on multiple friends and pockets of people.
Do you
So
write
there's
alone?
I do.
You do write
I write
alone.
by myself, yes.
And how long is your writing process?
Well, I always say it's like a birth.
It is.
It's like a birth. It's like it develops in you over a period of months, and then at some point it just has to pop out.
Right.
And then
Do you eat a lot when you're doing it?
No, I don't.
Pickles and ice cream?
No. I just sit and I like. It's like you go to sleep at night and you see a scene in your head,
Right.
and then you go and you take a shower and you see other things. It just pieces start to come together, and then eventually once the whole thing is playing through your head and you feel like you have the whole thing. For me, and of course everybody's process is completely different. For me, I have to go and isolate myself somewhere. So like wedding, funeral, midlife crisis, Christmas, boys, all of them I just basically went into a place. I also had another show, Gay Grease. I wrote all the same idea. I went and I isolated myself near water for like 2 or 3 days. I have to look at the water. I need to see like that kind of
Because
tranquility.
that gives you...
Yeah. Phones have to be away, off, no computers, nothing. And really, they've only taken me a couple of days, 2 days, 3
Really?
days. Yeah, to get the first draft out. Once you get the first draft out, which I need to be completely isolated. Then what I usually do is I print it out, leave it, let it sit for a couple of days, then go back and read it. Now with a different set of eyes. Like, okay, and then I'll go and I'll revisit it and I'll edit it and make changes, see what needs work. Then of course you have a table read and you hear it for the first time, and then you say, okay, this is working, this doesn't work.
That's
And
exciting.
then you continue to tweak
Isn't
it.
it really? It's so exciting.
Yeah.
Is.
Any chance any of these will become movies?
Well, my big gay Italian wedding was a movie.
It was a
That's
actually behind you.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to Italy to see that about 5 years ago.
How could we see it?
You can watch it on Amazon or it's on...
Really?
Yeah.
On Prime?
Amazon Prime.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing.
it's in Italian. It's in Italian with English subtitles.
How fun!
Yeah, that was great.
What's
That was
your
great.
next one?
Movie or play?
Yes.
The next play. The next play is either going to be one of 2 things. It's either my big gay Italian quarantine.
That's perfect.
And then
Right what you know.
Right what you know.
You know.
And which could lead into my big gay Italian second wedding.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there somebody in your life?
No, that's
No,
that's
okay.
the part I have to wait to get to that. But that's the fiction part. But my big gay Italian Christmas was based on, which is the last one,
Right.
was inspired by a man that I was seeing who was married and living a double life. Okay.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
And you would know nothing about that.
I can't imagine anybody doing something like that.
And you know, and it's so funny because I thought to myself, so many people are going to relate to this, and so many did.
Wow.
But I met a man and he was married, and he lied about his name and where he was from, a lot of things.
Wow.
And we were seeing each other for quite a while, and he was from Boston, and I had no idea he was married.
Wow.
So, and then it all came out like 3 months later, and I was like, oh my God. So, but what I learned was that so many people have this story
Right, that people have
to tell, where maybe they're leading a double life and lying about it. Some people are just coming out late in life. They were married, they had a child, whatever it was. And so I thought that would be a very good story. So what I did was I took that and made that, as I usually do, the nucleus of the piece. And it takes place on Christmas Day, and it assumes he's meeting my family for the first time. The wife storms in, she knows she's having an affair, and then it's me. So,
Oh, wow.
so she learns all in front of everybody. So it's very fun. It's very funny. It's good. It's a good show.
Well,
I'm
you are a
sure,
very
yeah.
good comic writer.
Thank you.
I know that from
Appreciate that.
experience. I've done these
I appreciate
shows.
that.
So
But it's
I have to
very
say.
funny.
Any scripts coming out with a Latina, maybe?
And a Jewish
I well, the Latin. Well,
Jewish mother is the
Jewish
same
mother
thing
is
as
an
the
Italian
Italian
mother.
mother.
Most of the women who've played the mother has been Jewish.
Family guilt
Most
food
of my,
done.
yeah, the sister's been mostly
That's
Jewish
a little
girls.
Latina,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's very Latino.
I've had Latinas, yeah, absolutely. A Latina character, not specifically, but a lot of my characters are not necessarily have to
Right.
be Italian.
Right.
You know, I don't specifically, I mean, the name Lucia Fuccio, or Connie Scuccifuccio, Scuccifuffio, those are always fun names, but,
How do you come
yeah.
up with these names?
Based on people I know.
That's
Well,
something you
Lucia
know.
Fuccio is a real person.
Oh,
She's really a good friend of
Okay.
mine, and Connie Scuccifuffio is a made-up name. I made that name up years ago.
that's hilarious, that name.
Yeah, but it was like,
love that.
I forgot, it was like, I always like the name Connie, and I think I saw something.
Connie's very Italian.
Fuffio, and I was
Connie's
like, yeah.
Connie.
Pancetta.
Yeah.
Pancetta.
So yeah, so the next one, I think, well, the story ends, Christmas ends. I was told I could come back in June, which was great, but I couldn't have shows yet.
Right.
So we didn't start putting shows up till October, and we were one of the first to actually do it because Murphy made it legal in September. So, not legal, but you know,
Yes.
I know what
he
you mean.
released the...
Yeah,
released it.
And then October, we started with Midlife Crisis. But what a challenge. Everybody's got to go for COVID tests, you got to social distance the theater, everybody's got to be masked, everybody's got to be 6 feet apart. It's a lot, and we're still dealing with it.
The cast doesn't have to be masked, do they?
The cast does not have
But
to
they
be
have to be
masked,
tested.
but they have to be tested. They
Okay.
have to be tested,
Okay.
and then they're pretty much at their own discretion. It's up to me to make sure that they're separated appropriately backstage.
Right.
But then, you know, when you're in a company like that, you can sit. I had a couple of cast members for other shows, not specifically my show, but other shows that I've had in here, who were very, very COVID conscious, and they stayed behind closed doors,
Okay.
and they were like, they didn't want to even see or speak
Right.
to anybody until they had to go on stage. And then you had people like my cast, where like we started all in everybody in their respective
see it.
corners, and then after an hour it was like, la, 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 and there goes, you know, social distancing. So, which if I never hear the word social distancing again, I will be very happy, because I hate when people use those words, but anyway.
Me too.
Looking around the room and I see, you know, all of these news clippings and all of this, and then we come to this little box over here.
Yeah.
Tell us about what's in that little showcase.
Those are Emmys from One Life to Live.
Fantastic.
You won those?
Well, the team won them, yes.
How? What was your role in One Life to Live? What did you do?
Well, they were all different. So, what I do at One Life, well, one's for directing, two for directing, and one's for editing. But what I did was I started as an intern, then I worked my way up to, I became like assistant to the executive producer, production coordinator, associate director was how I finished. So,
wow.
yeah,
That's
so,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I have no regrets. I met wonderful people there, and it was a great time in my life, but theater was always my passion.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it got to a point where I was doing it to fulfill just basically like work. It became work.
Did you do theater as a child?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah, I always loved theater. And even when I was in NYU, when I was studying before I even started, everything was theater related. So, so while I was at One Life to Live, I was doing these shows on the side, never thinking I could make a career from it. So when we first started doing the shows back in the Village in 2001, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it was never like, this is going to be your career. It's like, this is fun to do on the side.
Mm-hmm.
But you're never going to make enough to actually, so I said, let me not give up One Life to Live.
Right.
But then what happened was, as time started progressing, the soap started becoming a dying medium. So we started to see all these shows getting canceled, and then
I'm still watching
Oh, yeah.
GH.
I wasn't the last one standing at One Life to Live, but I think it went off the air only a couple of years after I left, maybe 2 years
Yeah.
after I left.
Yeah.
So it was pretty right after that, because I was there when they started canceling a lot of the other shows. So we knew our timing because the ratings were starting to tank, and it was just a matter of jumping off the Titanic whenever you had a life preserver. So
That's an interesting analogy.
exactly, and I found mine, and I was like, "See you later."
See ya.
Yeah. You didn't have a life jacket, you had a boat. You had a little boat all to yourself.
When I got that phone call, I was like, you know what? There's no,
time.
there was just, we knew. But I have friends, and some of my closest friends, Sonia and Teresa, who are very involved, who are still involved with all my shows. And Sonia's a director of Days of Our Lives still, and she lives in LA, and Teresa is an editor at General Hospital. So they've managed to actually, to this day, still be working on soaps and transfer with those people.
Oh, that's cool.
So but
That's
but they
nice.
both do other things as well, because they know that they have to have that plan B,
Right.
as we all do,
We all do.
which was one of the other reasons why I took this job, because I thought it came with some stability.
Now, as the executive director,
Mm-hmm.
I know obviously you perform in your own plays.
Yeah.
But do you ever look for opportunities to perform in other
No.
types of things?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
It's a lot of work.
Too
It is
much.
a lot of work.
Too much. My head's full as it is. Yeah.
Keep writing.
This is enough.
Keep writing.
Well, that's it.
Fantastic.
That's what I'm gonna. If I'm gonna do anything again, because this is a full-time job, just to
Absolutely.
because I'm putting up 50, 60 shows a year.
Wow.
Different shows, never
Right.
mind the different days. So the theater's booked pretty much every night. And so I'm responsible for all that here, so I have to be here almost all the time. So you have that problem. And then, so I do perform in those two shows, the ones that are specifically
Right.
mine.
Right.
But when I do have the time, I will go away and write my next one, because I do want to have the quarantine ready for next year.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I want to do
That
it
would
next
be
year.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you book all these, I mean, you have some big names that come through here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever run into the problem of ego?
Well, ego? Like my ego?
No, not your ego.
Oh.
Of people that you've hired to be here. I'm not gonna ask you to mention names,
Oh, God.
but do you have any like
Yes.
thing specific in mind where you were like, oh my
I
god?
went to 3 places immediately as soon as you said that. Yes. Yes, I've met some challenges. Yes.
Can you tell us any stories about any, not without
I
mentioning
can't
names or we'll
mention
get in
names,
trouble?
however, yes, we would get in trouble.
No, I don't want you to mention names.
But I will say there have been people that you do get to meet behind the scenes. And, well, one of the things is I go to a lot of these conferences for arts conferences. So they
Right.
have, if you've heard of like APAC and
Yes.
Arts Midwest and all those. So I participate in all of those where I could shop for shows, meet with other artistic directors, meet with other producers and stuff like
That's
that.
good.
So, which is great. So one of the first things that benefits from that is that, let's just say you're an executive director, artistic director in another venue.
Mhm.
I may see you had a show that I might be interested in, and I'll say, how was she to work with? And then that's how you,
Gotcha.
and we
You
all
go,
talk.
yeah, she's a little diva.
Yeah. So that's why I always tell, I used to teach a lot in the city, and I always used to tell them, always be easy to work with. Always don't be that person, because if you're a pain in the ass,
That's it.
trust me, good news travels fast. And I've had a few, and I've
And
been
I'm
the
sure
first
you-
one to tell people, stay away.
I'm sure you'd rather a
Yeah.
little less talent and more easy to work
Absolutely,
with than.
more easy to, right, it's, if you're high maintenance, you better be selling out the house.
Right.
So,
So what's the strangest request you've ever gotten? Because I know people when they say, okay, I'll come to do a show in your
He's
theater.
rolling his eyes.
I know, he's like ready to kill me now. Like, just
no.
something strange
No,
that
it's just-
anybody.
You're just sparking some
I've had a couple of people who required more security than they could have really needed. because in their heads, their ego was, they really.
So they come with an entourage of 20 people.
Right, and they
Bodyguards.
think they need protection in my fan base, and you know, I can't go out and sign autographs because I'm afraid of the crowds and the paparazzi, and you know. I've had a few of things like that. Those two kind of people. So those are always interesting to me. I will say that most of the people I've had, like 95%, have been very genuine. They
Oh, I'm sure.
are very appreciative of the work. Happy to be here. We'll go and mingle with the audience after the show, take
Very
pictures,
nice.
talk
That's
to
cool.
people,
We like
which is
them.
always
Yeah.
good.
I like down to
always
earth.
say that. Yes, I mean I always did that when I was in the city.
I know
I was
that,
like, if
yeah.
people want to take the time to really sit and get to know me, I will make sure I talk to every single person. And I did. Usually wound up at a bar.
I may
But
have been at one of your at your show
Yeah.
in the city.
Yeah, absolutely.
And after, I know from doing the shows
Yes.
with you, I know my friends come and see it and they're like, do you think we can meet Anthony? I'm like, I think you can.
Yeah.
And he treats everybody, like, you meet Anthony and you're part of his family.
Yeah.
As soon as you meet him, it's like, we're related.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
He's
So
my
that's-
Italian cousin.
Fantastic.
So that's-
So, this beautiful facility, can we see a little bit
Yeah,
more of it?
Absolutely. Would you
I
like to go for a
cannot-
tour?
I would love to go for a
Let's do
tour.
it. Let's do it.
Awesome.
So first, we have this brand new top-of-the-art recording studio that we just finished right before the COVID broke out.
Wow.
Forgive the mess. But we have all top-of-the-line recording. You can come in here and you can record a demo. You could do a podcast. You could do so much. We've actually just started using this.
Excuse me, Pete.
And it has been
They're like
really.
Wow.
Yeah, you got it. And yeah,
voiceover work.
voiceover work. I had you know Deborah Toscano, right?
I love Deborah
She was just here last week. She did her. She
Oh.
recorded some new original songs that she had, and now she's making a music video here
That's
next
amazing.
week,
Wow.
which is great. So we have the capability to do all of that with this equipment.
This is amazing.
It's great.
So who runs this? You have a specific
We have
engineer that you hire?
we have an audio engineer who comes in just when we have appointments.
What is
So he's hired to hard.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, isn't that
This
fun?
is high class stuff in this place. They don't mess around at the Avenel Arts Center.
And then this is dressing room 1.
Oh, look.
So as you can see, these are, in normal times, you could usually get like 6 people in here. We've been doing 4
Right.
to create
COVID.
social distance.
Okay, so this is my area. Excuse me, Pete. It's about me right now. This is my area. I will put all my makeup right here,
Yeah.
and I don't want anybody in my area.
Right.
Because it's my space,
Yes.
and nobody can touch it.
That's right.
Over here.
Right now, we've been trying to space people out. So this is good, especially like now we just have like some comics coming up, so we can just give them all their own room. Because they have their own bathrooms, they have
Beautiful.
showers, they have everything.
And showers?
We have showers, yeah. So this is great.
Wait
So
a
we have
minute,
all this spot.
do you have people to do their hair and makeup too?
No. Well, if you want to bring somebody to do your hair and makeup, sure. I've had that.
Oh, they bring their
But
own.
not now.
The green room.
This is the green room.
The green room.
So, which has doubled as a 3rd dressing room depending what's going on.
I love this.
Well,
This
thank
is so
you.
cool.
But we have a microwave and we have a restaurant here that we bring them, the performers, some food and stuff. Washer dryer. If you have a double
bring your
show.
laundry here?
I don't bring my laundry here. No, no. But other people do because they sweat through their clothes and they want to freshen them up, which is totally acceptable.
That makes sense.
And then if we come in here, ladies first.
Why, thank you, sir.
We have our stage. Just be careful because there's no light back here. But
I can own this place.
this is mine.
Oh, there's the dinner theater.
Yeah, so we're set up right now for the comedy show. Okay. So what happens is, if you can visualize this is the stage, which is 20 by 40. Okay. Then those seats actually retract out. So those are 200 seats that come out.
Oh.
So they literally, we hit a remote and they all go back into the corner. So then you can set this up comedy club style and which has been good, especially now
Sure.
during the COVID. So you can really social distance the tables. So for example, this Friday we have a comedy show. Maybe we're going to have 40 people. So 40 people in here, that's about what this is set up for right now. And it looks relatively full, but yet it's spaced out. So there's plenty of room. People can get a drink and they can sit and they can watch a show.
Are you able to serve food for the comedy show or not yet?
No food, just
Okay,
alcohol.
just alcohol.
Just alcohol.
Okay.
There's a lot of different restrictions and rules. And
Of course.
They change by the minute, so we're trying to just keep up with it. Now, as it stands today, is we can have 35% capacity, which for us in this room is about 105. It could really be
Okay, that's a
100.
lot.
It could
That is
be
a lot.
140. However, we can't do 140 and still do the 6 feet apart.
Right.
So we're keeping it at 105 just to be extra safe.
So when you
So
set
people
up
feel
the
comfortable.
seats, do you just sell like separated?
So if it was the seats, what we would be doing is we'd be skipping every other row. And then if we were a group of 3, we could sit together and then we would skip 2 seats.
2 seats, oh, great.
So you could sit with your group.
Okay. That's awesome.
That's how that works. And then this is our box office.
Well, I noticed these garage door type of things.
So these,
I guess for going in and out, that's.
yes, they do come, we try not to because they're very delicate. But they absolutely do go up and down, which is good in the summertime for the restaurant. Because they're in the restaurant. Yeah, come on, show you the restaurant. So this is all a lobby area for women.
Love this wall.
This is amazing.
Can you take a look at the wall first?
Oh, sure.
Now-
So this was done by a local artist here in town.
Oh, wow.
And it's
You
called,
like-
yes, it's called The Star is Born. And can you guess what they all have in common?
Jersey.
They're all from New Jersey.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Yes.
This is incredible.
It's a great piece of work. It really
She's
is.
getting her own show, Equalizer.
We love this.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, he's the guy from Good Time.
Yep.
Yep. I didn't realize that some of those people were from New Jersey.
Yeah. And then as you saw when you walked in, this is what it looked like before we actually started. So this was
That's amazing.
This is when I first got hired.
What was
They were
here?
breaking
What were they taking down?
I don't think they were taking down anything. This is really more this is more things going up.
Oh,
Yes.
because it looks like it's falling.
No, right where your hand is.
This?
That one looks like it's coming down.
I'd be lying if I said I know. But
Okay.
I can find out for you.
So-
But it was something. But I just remember dirt. So I just remember the dirt. Yeah.
Wow.
Now it's beautiful.
And they just sort of built this beautiful space around
it
the
amazing?
theater also. It just it's just beautiful.
These apartments were also built
These
because
apartments were all part of the same, all
Part of the
part
same
of the same
project.
vision, same project. They're all now fully developed, they're all fully rented. There's 500 of them. They start with 1 bedroom, they go to 3 bedrooms. Yeah, I think there's a 3 bedroom, I think.
So they're rented, they're
They're
not.
right, they have 1-year leases, I believe.
Wow.
All right, so now that we have hand salt, we can go into the restaurant.
Curtain Bar Restaurant, that's a great idea. Hello. How are you guys?
The restaurant is open every day but Monday. So anytime the theater is pretty much we're open. So yeah, so we're open Tuesday through Sunday. We have not breakfast. It opens around 3 o'clock, and then it's Saturdays and Sundays we have brunch.
So even if there's no show here, you're open?
Well, we always have something. So even if there's not a performance in the theater, we do performances here.
But if you're, is it open to the public or is it just for people? who
Oh,
are
absolutely.
here for a show?
Here any night.
Music and
Yeah, we have live
comedy
music
and stuff?
sometimes. Yep, not comedy, no. We do like karaoke.
fun.
Karaoke, which is going to start up again in April. And then we do trivia night, which will start up again in April. And then we just have some live singers.
What kind of food is it? Is it like Americana,
It's like
burgers?
Yeah, and burgers. We have pastas. We have great entrees like meatloaf, Spanish, quesadillas, you name it. It's like a really it's fabulous menu. We have PK, who is a great chef. and the food has been really spot on.
Awesome.
So people love the food here, and it's very reasonably priced. Very reasonable.
So if we say we know the guy who runs this place,
You get a good deal, a really good deal.
That's beautiful. This is amazing. And I have to say, they couldn't have picked somebody better for this job.
Oh, thank you, I appreciate it.
This is you.
It's really fun.
you.
It's enjoyable. It's
I'm
rewarding.
sure.
It's my area. It's good. I love it.
So where can people find you online?
So
Yes.
online, you can go to avenelarts.com. That's our website for the theater. Buy all your tickets through there. And all the information is right there. We update our website regularly with all the changes, new protocols, everything. And we have tickets on sale from now through the end of the year.
So if we were to buy tickets as a group,
Yeah,
online we would say we're a group of 6, and we would be able to buy 6 tickets
you
together.
sure can.
That's it.
And any problems, you call the box office, which they're here almost every day.
No, well, you. Just kidding.
Anytime.